Okay, so let's start this. Can we make this bigger? Yes, no. Okay, so you had a few things, and we're combining like terms, but there are a few word problems that I wanted you to look at and understand. So let's start with the basic warm up here. So we have like terms which we want to combine, so we can, and I will move them around. So it's 12r plus 11r, and the r should be small, but I don't know how to write an r. 5s minus 4 plus 5s plus 9s minus 90, 70. That's a long one. All right, so it's 12 plus 11, which is 23. 23 minus 4 is 19r. These two are positive, so it's not a big deal. So it's just positive 5 plus positive 9, which is 14s, and minus 70. That was easy enough. 8y, negative 6 times a positive is negative 18y. Negative times a negative is 42, positive 42. I can combine these two now, right? And that gives me negative 10y plus 42. Again, negative and a positive is a negative, so I get negative 20a. Negative and a negative is a positive, so that gives me plus 12b. Done. 2z plus 6. And then positive 3 times 5 is 15, and positive 3 times negative 3 is negative 9z. Combine like terms, I can combine this guy and this guy. So it's 2 minus 9z, which is negative 7z. And then 6 plus 5, they're both positive. That's easy enough. 21. This is just, again, parentheses. 5 times 7 is 35 positive, plus 5 times 3, both are positive, so 15x, and then minus 12 at the end. Let me rearrange my expression so the like terms are together. These two, 35 minus 12 is 23, plus 15x. If I move things around, the like terms around, 8x squared, I'll move this guy around, minus 3x squared. Actually, I should have put the 4x cubed first in the front. So that's gone, that's gone. Any other x squared? No, so let's do the 9x. So it's plus 9x, sorry, and then minus 7x. Minus 2, minus 4. So let's combine the like terms. This combines with no one, so I just copy. Plus 8x minus 3x is 5x squared. And then I have 9 minus 7, in this case positive, right? Plus 2x. And negative 2 minus 4 is negative 6. So that should have been my final answer. So on this particular question, what you could have done is, let me change the problem just for a second. And let me take that out, take that out, and take that out. And let me put that 4 yards, 3 yards, and 2 yards. So he mowed 4 yards on Monday, 3 yards on Tuesday, and 2 yards on Wednesday. How many yards did he mow in 3 days? Well, that would have been 4 plus 3 plus 2. 4 plus 3, 7. That would have given us 9 yards. Yeah? And then the second part, if he mowed, and I'm making this number, if he mowed 20 yards for the whole week, right? Let me erase that. If he mowed 20 yards for the entire week, how many yards did he mow during the rest of the week? Well, I already know how many he mowed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So what about Thursday, Friday? Well, I don't know that week. Well, what about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Well, this is how much he did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If we take out what he already did on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right, we're left with 11. So this is what he mowed the rest of the week. So the reason I'm doing this is because it's the same question, except that we don't have specific values, but instead we have an expression that represents the quantity that was mowed on each day. So how many yards did he mow in 3 days? Well, he mowed this much on Monday, this much on Tuesday and this much on Wednesday. What do we do with all those two expressions? We have to add them. So we're going to add them. Now, because it's addition, we don't. Okay, I'm still gonna put it in parentheses just to make it a habit. 4x minus 7 plus, and the last day is 3x minus 2. So each expression here in parentheses represents one of the days. Monday here, Tuesday here, and Wednesday here. So now if we're going to add them, we got to remove the parentheses. So we remove them. And this one is easy because it's addition. When the parentheses are removed, the expression stays the same. Because if you imagine that there's a 1 here, and a 1 here, and a 1 here, and now you apply the distributive property, everything will remain the same. It's going to be 2x plus 5x minus 3 plus 4x minus 7 plus 3x squared plus 10. Why did we put the parentheses there? Well, only so that I could show you that this whole the term inside the parentheses, which in this case represented by these two terms, make up one day. This whole thing is Wednesday, this whole thing is Tuesday, and this whole thing is Monday. Okay. Now with addition, hopefully you realize that with addition, we didn't really need to put the parentheses, but with subtraction, we definitely have to put the parentheses. All right, let's continue. So I got 2x squared and 3x squared, and these two will combine, right? It'll give me 5x squared. And then the 5x, I have a 5x here and a plus 4x, so that's going to be 9x. And then negative 3 and negative 7 is negative 10, and negative 10 plus 10 is just 0. So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this is how many yards he mowed. Okay, so now it says here for the rest of the week, for the entire week, he mowed this much. So let me write this down. So this represents how much he mowed from Monday to Sunday. Now, if we remove what he mowed on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, if I subtract, this is the entire week, the whole week. And if I subtract what he did on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, won't I get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Right? So now I have to, my Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is represented by the expression 5x squared plus 9x. Yeah? I can't write this. Now, you will clearly see why I need a parenthesis here. Now, there's a 4. If we remove the parentheses in the first expression, it all comes out the same. 14x squared plus 12x minus 3. Now, this becomes a little different because of the minus sign here. So imagine if there's a 1 here. So this would be negative 1 times positive 5. So the 5x squared, which inside the parentheses is positive, is now negative. Negative 1 times the 9x in the back, and a negative times a positive is a negative. So again, the 9x, which is positive inside, comes out negative. Now, if you didn't put the parentheses there and you just put a minus sign there, the only thing the minus would be affecting, the subtraction sign would be affecting, would be the first term, 5x squared, and it would not affect the second term, the 9x. That 9x would have continued positive, which would have led you to the wrong answer. So now we can combine like terms. I have something with an x squared here and something with an x squared. It's 14x squared minus 5x squared, which gives me 9x squared. 12x positive minus 9x is going to give me plus 3x. And lastly, minus 3. So this is how much he mowed on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. So the idea is the same. So again, let me just, maybe I can do this one more time. Molly has $10. Ron has $3. How much money do they have together? Well, if that was a simple kindergarten question, you would do 10 plus 3, and the amount of money they have together is $13. Second question, how much more money does how much more money does Molly have than Ron? Well, how much more money does, well, Molly has this much, minus, if we take away what Ron has, which is 3, that's equals 7. So how much more money does Molly have? $7. We're going to repeat that same process, but with algebraic expression. So let's see what this looks like. So Molly has 4x plus $10, so let's write that, 4x plus $10, and we're going to add that to 20 minus 5x, right? So I'm just going to put in parentheses. So this is how much Molly has, this is how much Ron has. Let's remove the parentheses. And in this case, because it's a plus sign here, we're adding, nothing's going to be changed. So everybody comes out of the parentheses exactly the same way they are inside. Copy, add like terms together. So 4x and minus 5x, just be careful here. So it's going to give me negative x, right? And then 10 plus 20 is going to be 30. So that's going to be my answer. So combined, how much money do they have together? They have this much money. Question 2, how much more money does Molly have? So Molly she has the bigger amount, and this guy has a smaller amount. So it's going to be the bigger amount, 4x plus 10. And we're going to take away whatever Ron has to see how much more she has. So it's, again, put that in parentheses. Now, this is a subtraction sign here, right? So you got to be careful, because when you remove the parentheses, in the case of the first expression here, it comes out the same, 4x plus 10. But here, the positive 20 will come up as negative 20. And the negative 5x is going to come out as positive 5x. Again, if you just pretend there's a 1 here and you apply the distributive property, negative 1 times 20 is negative 20. Negative 1 times negative 5 will give you a positive 5. Combine like terms, now you have a 4x plus 5x, that's going to give you 9x. And positive 10 minus 20 is going to give you negative 20. Negative 10, sorry. So how much more money does Molly have? Molly has 9x minus 10 more dollars. Okay. Ross has 8.5 tickets for Chuck E. Cheese. He's going to play today. He wants to buy a prize that is 5x plus 1 tickets. How many tickets must we win? Well, so again, let me rewrite this question like this. Let's say Ronnie has 2 tickets, and he wants to buy a prize that costs 10 tickets. How many more does he have to win in order to buy? Well, this is how much the prize cost. This is how much he has, so 10 minus 2, and that would mean that he needs 8 more tickets in order to get that prize. So let's change that. Same idea. Ron has 8x minus 5 tickets, and the prize that he wants to buy costs 15x plus 1. So how many more tickets does he need to buy? Well, so it's going to be 15x plus 1 minus whatever he has right now, and this is what he has. And again, this first one comes out exactly the same, right? Because there's an invisible plus sign dot, right? And then this one, because it's negative, we have to change the signs of all the terms inside, so it comes out as minus 8x, and the minus 5 comes out as positive. Okay, there's a 1 here. Apply the distributive property. Okay, 15x minus 8x is 7x, and then 1 plus 5 is 6. So how many more tickets does he need to buy? He needs to buy 7x plus 6 more. He needs to win 7x plus 6 more tickets. Find the perimeter. So for these ones, okay, so perimeter is what the distance around a particular figure, so we have to add. So the first one is x plus 3 minus 2x plus 7 plus y. Now, I should have written it this way. In parentheses, everything, right? And then remove it, and hopefully, once you understand that nothing's going to change because we're adding, right? You might even be able to skip that step. But in the beginning, maybe you want to make sure you identify your terms by putting parentheses around them. So now I can add these. So x minus 2x is minus x. Plus 3 plus 7 is plus 10. And the y is just plus 1. So the perimeter of this triangle is minus x plus 10 plus y. It's a square. So a square, 4z plus 3. This is also 4z plus 3. Now, remember, we're adding all those sides, so you can do it two ways. You can add 4z plus 3 plus 4z plus 3 plus 4z plus 3 plus 4z plus 3, or you can maybe take a shortcut here. Write this 4 times that particular side. If you apply the distributive property, you get 4 times 4, which is 16z, and 4 plus 3, which is 4 times 3, which is 12. So the perimeter of that particular square is 16z plus 12. Likewise, we're going to add here. So let me erase this because I need more room. So let me start here. So we're going to add that side plus 2a squared plus 6b squared minus 5ab plus 3b squared. So we're going to add all those sides. So let's do the a squared. 4a squared plus 2a squared is 6a squared. B squared plus 6b plus 3b is plus 9b squared. And then we have 3ab and minus 5ab, so it's 3 minus 5, which is negative 2ab. So that's the perimeter of this trapezoid. Okay. Again, this one is 3x minus 4 plus 3x minus 4 plus 7 minus 2x plus 7 minus 2x, and then last side plus 5x plus 5. So let's do all the x's first. So I get 3x plus 3x is 6x, 6x minus 2 is 4x, minus 2 is 2x, and plus 5 is 7x. Negative 4, and negative 4 is negative 8, plus 7 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus 7 is positive 6. 6 plus 5 is 11, and 11 plus 5 is 16. So that whole thing simplifies to that. Over here, so this is also 7 plus 3x. And this is also 5x minus 2, so it would be 2 times 5x minus 2, because there's 2 of them, plus 2 times 7 plus 3x. That's, I guess this could be the shorter way, or if you wanted to do 7 plus 3x plus 7 plus 3x plus 5x minus 2 plus 5x minus 2, you could have done that too. So this is going to give me 10x minus 4 plus 14 plus 2 times 3 is 6x. Combine like terms, the 10x and the plus 6x gives me 16x. And negative 4 plus 14, there's more positive, and that's going to give me positive 10. This looks like a equilateral triangle where all the sides are the same, so we're going to shortcut 3a minus b, and we're going to multiply that by 3, right? And it's going to be 3 times 3 is 9a. 3 times that's going to be minus 3b. So we could have done 3a minus b plus 3a minus b plus 3a minus b. Let's find something. Find the area. Okay, so area is base times height. So we can do 5, right? We're going to find the area. And we're going to do 5 times 3x minus 5y plus 6. By distributive property, remember area, we're measuring the number of squares, square units inside this rectangle. 15x, positive and negative, negative 25y. Positive and positive is plus 30. So the area of this triangle is this much. C, find the area of something else, another rectangle. Okay, so again, you might want to draw your rectangle. We have a rectangle. This is 7. This is 6x minus 7. Base times height, right? So again, just 7 times 6x minus 7. 6 times 7 is 42x. And 6 minus 6 times negative 7 is negative 4. C, find the area of a rect triangle. Triangle is base times height divided by 2. Remember that. I don't know this. Not like that. Okay, so let me try this. Yes. So base times height divided by 2, right? Area of a triangle. So area of a triangle, you take the base, you multiply by the height, and you divide by 2. So if we take that, the base here is 12. Replace a b with a 12 times the height, which is represented by 5a plus 7b. And we're going to take that and divide that by 2. So it's a fraction, right? So you can do the distributive property first here and then divide everything by 2, or you can divide by 2 first. So because it's a fraction, I can, 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So I end up having 6 on the top, parentheses 5a plus 7b over 1, or I don't rewrite the 1. So now I can apply the distributive property. 30a plus 6 times 7 is 42b. And that's the area of that triangle. What am I doing now? Find the area of a triangle with base. Okay, so again, the same idea. So again, area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. So the height is 8. The base is 6y squared plus 5y minus 2 divided by 2. And again, you can apply the distributive property and then divide every single term by 2, or you can what they call simplify right now. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 8 divided by 2 is 4, and now I can apply the distributive property. So I get 4 times 6, which is 24y squared. 4 times 5 is 20y, and then 4 times the 2 there, but remember it's positive 4 and negative 2, so it gives me negative 8. So the area of this particular triangle is represented by that. Find the missing something side. Okay. All right, so let me change this problem. Let me put a 4 here. Let me put a 6 here. Okay, and again, missing side. And let me change this perimeter to, let me pick a number, 15. So what if I told you that if I added 4, 6, and our mystery number here, it gave me 15? Can you find out what the missing side was? Right? If the whole perimeter was 15 and you knew 2 sides, and this side was 4 and this is 6, what would this side be? It had to be 5. You would do 15. You subtract this side, which is 4, and then you subtract that other side, which is 6, and whatever left over would give you the missing side, which is 5, right? Simple enough. Idea is the process is the same. So you know that the perimeter, so if you add this side plus this side plus this side, the total is 10a plus 3b plus 12, but we want to subtract this side, and we want to subtract that side from the total, and whatever left over is going to be our missing side. So now, in this case, please, it's minus, and let's represent this side here, put it in parentheses. And we're also going to remove 5a plus b. And again, in parentheses, because the whole thing represents that side. So now it's just a matter of 10a plus 3b plus 12. Again, we're going to remove the parentheses and notice how it's going to change our terms, the signs of our terms inside. So that's going to become minus 3a minus 8. And that's going to become minus 5a minus b, because comes out negative. So now it's just simply combining like terms. We have a 10a here. Do I have another 10a? 10a minus 3a is 7a, and 7a minus 5a is 2a. B's have a positive 3b and a minus b. Positive 3b minus b gives me positive 2b. 12 minus 8 is simply 4. So the missing side is 2a plus 2b plus 4. 7, the triangle, again, is the same idea, so it's always nice to draw the triangle. And let's just call this 5x plus y, and let's call this 7 plus x, and this is the missing side, or could have been any other. But I know that if I add all these sides, so if I add this side plus that side, the total is actually 7x minus 2y plus 15. Now I'm going to erase that because I'm not going to have room. So the total, 7x minus 2y plus 15. So I know what the total is. All these three sides together adds to this, but I want to find out, obviously, the missing number. But since I know these two sides, I can remove 5x minus 5x plus y if I want to take that side out. And I also want to take this side out from the total, minus 7 plus x. So if from the total I remove that side and this side, I obviously will have that remaining. So let's remove the things from our parentheses, the terms. So this is 5x plus y. So if you imagine if there's a 1 and you apply this derivative property, negative 1 and 5 would be negative 5x. Negative 1 and plus y would be negative y. Right? So you can tell that my terms are coming out negative, right? Because of the subtraction, everything that comes out comes the opposite. And same thing likewise here. It's going to be minus, the 7 is positive inside the parentheses, it's going to come out minus 7. And the plus x comes out as minus x. Now it's just a matter of combining like terms. So 7x minus 5x is 6x. 6x minus x is just 1x, or just x. Negative 2y and minus y, negative y minus y, it's negative 3y. Positive 15 and minus 7 is negative 8. That's it. Actually, let me take that out. So the missing side is represented by neg x minus 3y minus 8. So rectangle. All right, so I know that, well, if that's 3x plus 4, this is also 3x plus 4. I don't know this, and I don't know that. That's what I don't know. But I know that if I added this with this, all the sides added, the perimeter is 10x plus 18. So I know what the total is. One way of doing this is counting the total. So the total perimeter of this rectangle is 10x plus 18. Let's take away this this height here, or length. Let's take away that side. And we're going to do it again because there's another one on the other side. So minus 3x plus 4. So, but those of you who did this, because you realized there was 2, and you applied that, and you get 6x plus 8, you could have also written the expression a little bit shorter and write 10x plus 18 minus that 6x plus 8. Okay, which in fact, I'll do that. So 10x plus 18 minus 2 times, right? So either you use this or you use this, it will give you the same result. Okay, so I'm going to continue from this one, the second expression. So 10x plus 18, I'm going to do this derivative property. Negative 2 and 3 is negative 6x. Negative 2 and 4 is negative 8. If I subtract, or actually if I combine like terms, 10x minus 6x is 4x. And positive 18 minus 8 is positive 10. Now this is what I have left over that represents this side and the top side, right? This left over represents, this value represents this side and this side. But so how do I find this, the width, the length of one of them? Right, so I have to take this expression and divide it by 2. So I'm going to divide this by 2, divide this guy by 2. And 4x divided by 2 is just going to be 2x. And then 10 divided by 2 is just going to be 5. Which means that this guy on top is 2x plus 5. And this guy at the bottom is 2x plus 5. Okay? Oh, 2 more. That's it? What am I doing? 9? rectangle. So again, I will draw issue 2. So the perimeter, this side plus this side plus this side plus this side is 8x squared plus 10x minus 6. So I know what the perimeter is. The width is 3x squared plus 4x. So let's label the width. So if that's 3x squared plus 4, this is also 3x squared plus 4x. And I need to know what this is, and I need to know what this is. Right? So, but I know if I add all those 4 sides, I get a grand total of 8x squared plus 10x minus 6. So I want to take out this guy, and whatever remainder is going to represent these 2 sides. So let's remove those 2. And again, you can do, and I'll write it out, minus 3x squared plus 4x, and do it again, minus 3x squared plus 4x. Or you can write the expression like this. Instead of writing that 2 times, you can just write minus 2 times those 2 sides. Right? So either or, don't matter which one you do. So for this one, I'm actually going to do it this way because the previous problem I did it the other way. Well, let's do it this way. So it's 8x squared plus 10x minus 6. And then remember, because of that subtraction sign, when removing the parentheses, all the terms inside come out opposite. So that's positive 3x becomes minus 3x squared. Plus 4x becomes minus 4x. And likewise, same thing here. Okay, so if you want to use, put a 1 over here, put a 1 over here, and do the distributive property, you understand that it's a negative times a positive, which is a negative, and a negative times a positive, which is also a negative. And that's why they come out the opposite. Combine like terms, 8x minus 3x is 5x. 5x minus 3x is 2x squared. Good. 10x plus 10x minus 4x is 6. And 6x minus 4x is 2. So that gives me positive 2x. And then minus 6. And then just minus 6. That's it. So this represents this guy over here, this length over here, and represents the top as well, right? So, but I want to find how much one of them measures, and in order to do that, I have to divide that whole expression by 2, which is exactly what we're going to do. Somehow, okay, we can't do that. So let's take that expression, divide everything by 2. So let me change colors. Divide this guy by 2, this guy, divide this guy by 2, this guy by 2. Well, 2 over 2 is just 1, right? And that becomes 1x squared or just x squared. Same thing here. 2 over 2 becomes just 1 or just plus x. And minus 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this side measures x squared plus x minus 3. And then top is x squared plus x minus 3. You could always check. If you add all of these, you should get 8x squared plus 10x minus 6. A square has a perimeter of 3ab minus 12. So, see a square, if I add this side, plus this side, plus this side, plus this side, let me write side, I'm going to get this total right here, 32ab minus 12. But I don't want, what do I want? I want to know how much each side is, so I don't know how much each of them measures. Right? So if I told you that the square had a perimeter of 32, for example, let's forget this for a second, and I asked you to find out what the measurement of one of the sides would be, you would do 32 divided by 4, right? And you would tell me that each side measured 8. So likewise, we're going to do that. We're going to take 32ab, if I can write it, AB minus 12, and we're going to divide this whole thing by 4, okay? And I'm going to take the first term divided by 4. I'm going to take the second term and divide it by 4, okay? So if we simplify this, 32 divided by 4 is just 8ab. And 12 divided by 4 gives me negative 3. Now, let me erase this for a second. Like I said, you can always check, which means this is 8ab minus 3. This is 8ab minus 3, 8ab minus 3, and 8ab minus 3. So if you had time on the test, you could check. So if I asked you to find the perimeter of this square, you would do 4 times one of the sides. Will you get 32ab minus 12? Look at this, and look at that. Does it match this? And if so, you're on the right path. Okay, that should be it.